Hello all and welcome to Wow Crochet yet again for another tutorial. My name is Mary and in today's tutorial we are working on our corner to corner granny stitch blanket. Summer blanket actually. And here it is guys, it certainly is growing. Now today we're doing more of the technical side of working on a corner to corner blanket. We will be showing you a little bit of crochet, very minimal because you know what you're doing, but we just wanted to work out our particular rows and where we're going next. This part of the blanket, it's my way of controlling myself and really controlling myself. This part of the blanket is what I call halfway to the halfway, so really a quarter way of the blanket. You have done a quarter of the blanket now. Let me show you. Ta-da! There you go. Okay, so this is halfway. All right, here is where you're up to. I'm sorry, here is, wake up Mary, here is where you're up to. You have done, so you can see your 7 rows green, 3 rows orange, 3 rows yellow, 3 orange, 5 green, 3 orange, 1 blue, 1 red, 1 blue, 3 orange and 5 green. Now, let's move our blanket out the way. Let's talk paperwork. I know people are looking at me thinking, what is she talking about? Well, I want to show you different things. Now, this is one way of doing your granny, I don't know, you can call it a granny square, all right? If you wanted to do a let's try that again. If you wanted to do a rectangle corner to corner, your rectangle would look like this, obviously. Oh, sorry about the really bad sketching there. Sorry about that. If you wanted to do, say, 1 block there, 1 block there, and 1 block there, then you got to about here and you thought, uh-oh, they don't add up. To make it look nice, see all of that, you repeat 1, 2, 3, 4. You repeat that. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, it's a really bad drawing. Sorry, guys. Your best bit is to leave all of that middle bit one colour. That keeps your blanket looking neat. And if you were to do it like this, with all the mixed colours, when you get to the middle, you'll think, oh, I've kind of lost track. I don't know what to do. So you really need to have something like this, or the other picture I'll show you in a minute, which is there, counted and like really counted and knowing exactly what you want to do with your colour. Otherwise, do a rectangle blanket like so. Here's another bad drawing. Really sorry guys, I should get a ruler when I do this, and just give yourself a feature border on both sides, okay? And if you wanted to do a centerpiece, you just do a centerpiece, and that kind of, oh, it's not really straight, but do you know what I mean? But if you're going to do something like this, when you get to the top, make sure it all marries up if you want to make it even on the other side. So if you don't and you just want to do, let's do another one, a border, just a tiny little border row, and you want to do the rest in one colour, you just go those 2 colours there and those 2 colours there. Keeping your rectangle basic. I hope that makes sense. When you've got a square, making it loud like this is great. When you've got a rectangle, when you make it too loud, it kind of looks like you couldn't get to the end, so you just made it up as you went along and nothing marries up. Now, I've done that before with a rectangle blanket. I thought I was being real smart, got to here, and I hadn't even drawn it up. I just did my colours in my head, as you do. When I got to there, I thought, okay, now I want to marry them up. And it didn't marry up no matter how I counted, because I didn't do a sketch beforehand. A sketch beforehand would mean that, okay? Draw your whole piece. In fact, I would normally draw that whole piece there, right? I'm not doing that here because I want to show you when we get to the middle how you can do the rest without doing the extra work. Okay, so I'm showing you how to be lazy. You like that? I'm showing you how to be lazy. But in the meantime, I just wanted to show you about a rectangle. We are going to do a small swatch of a rectangle, not this week, probably next week sometime, just to show you the way to do a rectangle blanket without it looking wrong, okay? Because rectangle blankets can come out wrong if you over colorize them. Oh, if that makes any sense. Can I use that as a word? Over colorizing, okay? If you put too many colors in, you get to the middle of a rectangle and you think, oh, oops, how am I going to fix this? It's not going to marry up the same. It's not going to look the same on one side as it is the other, unless you want it to look that way. If you want to make a little messy look, by all means, that's easy, okay? That, I just wanted to show you that. Now, I forgot to also mention last week when I showed you how to do this particular blanket and the rows, that the other way of doing it is this way. I showed you this part, but I didn't show you how I do my count. I'd forgotten completely to show you that, but I'm pretty sure you get it. There are 7 rows in your green. So what you're doing is, let me get a nice little close up there. Move that out the way, it takes up a bit of the light. Oh, it's not working, is it? Here we go. All right, now we're under control. Get it right, Mary. 7 rows green. So what I did was, I did your first row, I did the second row, I did the third, I did the fourth. When I got to the 5th, I marked them off as I went along like that. I didn't really because I know what I'm doing, right? And then I did a full row across there to show I've done 5 rows. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. And then 1, 2 is 6 and 7 rows. Once I finished it, I ticked it with the colour that I'm using. That helps me keep posted exactly where I am. If you want to focus on colour and you're making your blanket to suit a customer, and your customer, client, whatever you want to call them, commission project, wants these exact colours in their blanket and wants 7 rows and wants two here and wants 1 there, and you've got to focus on what they want. So you have to make sure that you are doing exactly what they want, okay? Nothing worse than you make a mistake here, you do the whole blanket, you give it to them, they say, oh look, I wanted 2 rows red here and not 2 rows blue or green or whatever. So you really need to stay focused on your colour count if you are working on a professional project. If it's your own and you mess it up, just get to the middle, go to the other side and copy exactly the same mess up. And as I say in crochet, there are no mistakes, just new stitches. All right, so, but that's if you're making for yourself, all right? When you're making for someone else, you really need to focus on your count. So as you can see, I did the 3 rows orange. Now I wouldn't have done this normally because, to be honest with you, I do actually use this method. This is my main method to go to when I'm doing anything graphy, anything, oh, don't even go there with graphgans. Because if you're not sure what a graphgan is, Dr. Google it, I'm telling you. A graphgan is a lot of work, okay? Okay, so now let's get on with where we are at the moment. All right, move everything out of the way so you can see. All right, this is where we started and we worked all the way up this way, all right? At first glance, you can tell whether you've made a mistake anyway. Now, I've had someone message me this week, which I actually got her to count so that she could work out whether she was wrong. I did mention it in last week's tutorial, but I'll mention it again. When you are doing your rows, that way, when you get to both ends of your rows, your count should marry up to, say, 7 rows that way, 7 rows that way, and 7 cluster sets that way. So what she found that she may have, her work was kind of looking, it does bow, look, let me show you, it's got a tiny little bow, very minimal. And once you do the other side, that bow tends to close up a little. But she had a really large bow where it was going like that. And she said it didn't look like mine in the video. If we've done 35 rows, then from where we started, let me get a nice close up, you needed to count across this way to be 35. Okay, so we are going to count the 35 rows across. So that's counting each cluster set, and that is a row. So there's your first row. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and 35. So when you go across this way, it should add up to be 35. Now I've already counted that, so I'm not going to let you sit there and watch me count. But we will count our cluster sets that we are working on together. There's your corner right there. Okay, and that's your first cluster set. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and your 35 should be in there, but mine's come undone. As you can see. So I'm going to put my 35 cluster in there. Then I'll put my chain 1 and the double crochet like we've been doing towards the end of each row. See how we do the cluster set and then chain 1? Well, I need to put my cluster set and chain 1 in there, and that makes 35. If by any chance yours do not add up to be 35 across once you've finished that row, then you've got a problem. So you need to check. And to make sure you're not, let's say you do have that mistake and you think, right, I'm going to take it all undone right down to the back. That's not necessary. What you do is you count the second last row. Firstly, you check this row because you might just have like 2 clusters in one, or you've missed a cluster. But if you haven't, just count that second last row, because you might find it's just in the row before that you've made the error. Nothing worse than you think, right, I've made a mistake, I'm going to pull the thing right undone all the way. It's not necessary, okay? If the second row doesn't add up to be 34, that's when you got problems, because then it means it's your third row back, your fourth or your fifth. In the meantime, this is all added up, so what I would like for you guys to do is the very next step. Very exciting. All right, your very next step, girls. Okay, let me get it. Okay. Now, here is where we started. We worked that way. Let's move everything out of the way. Here's where we started, that corner right there. We did your 7 rows in green to there. We did your 3 rows in orange, etc, etc, etc. There's our next 24 rows. I think it's 24. No, it's 25. Get it right, Mary. Get it right. Okay, so, and there it is there. So I've done my marked off many ways. Okay, and I've put a line there to say, this is where I have completed before showing you guys. That's for my benefit, because I do so much in between that I would have forgotten. Okay, so this is the sheet you need to follow. This is the best part, guys. All right, so let's move everything out the way so you can see. Your next few rows that you need to start with are 3 rows orange, 3 yellow, 3 orange, 5 green, 3 orange, 1 blue, 1 red, 1 blue, 3 orange, and I've got 5 here. We will initially be doing 4 or 5, I can't remember now because I have to look at the pattern. But to get to the midway of your blanket, you just need to put in 2 rows of your green. Don't go doing that part there, because when we get to the second row of our green, we're going to focus on the next row being our reducing row. So I have to show you how to reduce your blanket so you can start doing this. All right, you get here. Oops. So we get to this section right here. We want to finish off. The next row, we go up, because we're doing a square blanket, not a rectangle, a square. You go up like normal. You chain up your 3, 4, whatever it was. I'm not really sure exactly yet. I have to work that out. I've forgotten how to do it. It's been years since I've made this blanket. You turn and you skipping that first cluster set. And look, I'll show you how to do it anyway. But if you go ahead and do your 5 rows green, you are still growing your blanket. We're not going to grow it. We want to stop at the second row of the green, and we will meet up and do part 3 of our blanket. Okay. In the meantime, let me show you where you are going to start. I'm just going to pull this last cluster set undone there. All right. So we are at the end of our green row. I'm going to have to put that last cluster set in. Got the chain, yes. and that was your normal, sorry, move that out the way for a second, your normal 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 1 double crochet in the last one before completing your double crochet. Now a lot of you may have cast off, that's fine. I can show you how to pop your hook through the stitch you've cast off on, but before completing it, you just grab your very next colour, and that's going to be, let's find a little list here, 3 rows in orange. So you're grabbing your orange, pulling your loop through, or whatever colour you're using, okay, whatever colour you decided on, whatever colours you decided on, grab your next colour, chaining up your 4 again like normal, 1, 2, 3, 4, turning your work like normal. I tell you what, this part is pretty much the same as what we've been doing all along, but I just wanted you to understand the concept of where you are headed from here. All right, did I do 4 or 3? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I did. 1, 2, 3, 4. I did. Yes. Wake up, Mary. Wake up. No more sleep for me. All right, chaining 1, hopping into your very next space, and off you trot with your orange. Now, let's just finish up for a minute. Pull that loop up. Don't forget to cut your green. Okay, and I'm hoping you are weaving in those ends. Doesn't matter if you're not, you can always weave them in later once we do our border rows. Okay, so I want you to head off on your own. Now, if you have closed up your work, let's say for argument's sake, you closed up because you thought, well, that was the end of the blanket. Okay, so what you do is you just go back into the top of that stitch right there, because it wasn't the end of the blanket, by the way, guys. You go back in that top stitch. I'm just doing the other side, pretend like it's the other side. You grab your orange thread and you just pull it through the stitch. If you've cast off and weaved in the end, this is what you do. You chain up your 1, 2, 3, 4, turn your work, and off you go as normal. All right. I just pulled some of my work undone to do that. The one I just did there. Did I pull it undone? I did too. Anyway, so that's that. All right, so what I would like for you to do, this is the best part, guys. Go ahead and do these rows. So take a good look at them. These are all the rows you need to do. Get to your second row green. Do not cast off because you're going to need this green. So get your second row green. Meet me back here in a week or 2 weeks time. Now that's going to be, your blanket's going to be a lot bigger. So it's going to take you a while to get to that row right there. So whether you do it in a week or 2 weeks, we will just meet up on our Wednesday live this week, or even our Saturday live, I think, and we can show each other where we are at. Well, I can show you where I'm at and how far I got. I guarantee you we will not get all this done by the end of next week. Having said that, if you guys are geniuses and really fast, let me know. And if you are, I'll speed up the process and get myself ready for you, and we can do part 3 next week. Okay? But in the meantime, you're doing all of these rows. Take a good look at this. Don't do the 5, just do the 2 rows. Don't cast off your green. And where you will be at the end, is flat bang in the middle of your blanket. Okay? After you get to there, come back and join me for part 3 of your blanket. Now, part 3 of your blanket, I'll just be discussing how to decrease your sides. All I need to do is show you 2 or 3 rows and you can head off on your own, so that's not a problem. However, I also want to show you how you're going to work your colour coordination for the other side. All right, so guys, that's all I wanted to show you today. It was just a quick tutorial on how to do the count and making sure your count is right. Pretty much that's it. So what I want you to do now, best bit guys, head off on your own and complete these rows right here. Let's get a nice close up so you can do it. Complete these rows right here. Do not cast off your green. Come back and join me and we will work on part 3 of our blanket. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Don't forget, if you are new to our channel, we are running a giveaway. I will pop the link to the giveaway in the description box down below. Click on the link, watch the video in full, answer the question, making sure you're subscribed as well, because you can't enter the giveaway without being subscribed. One of the rules. So go ahead, click on that link, watch the video in full, follow the details to the giveaway, and good luck. Thank you for joining me, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and do all those wonderful things that you do so well for me. And I will catch you on Saturday's live to discuss where we are at the blanket. Thank you for joining me. And guess what, guys? Ciao for now.